welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Neff.
I'm Edward Lewis.
Edward, you and I have been buzzing in that newsroom this morning.
What a
lot
day.
of sports story, big entertainment news story.
Both of them sad stories, right?
Yeah. And luckily we're here to talk to you guys about them today. So we're going to be starting off with shocking news. Dancing with the Stars pro Artem Chigvintsev was arrested for domestic violence, and we have a little bit more information as to what led to his arrest. We'll get into that. NHL star Johnny Gaudreau and his little brother were killed hours before their sister's wedding. This is a horrific story.
Right.
Edward has all the details for us on that. Lana Del Rey, her rumored boyfriend is an alligator tour guide. He does swamp tours. What a pairing. We have a bunch of details about him. And lastly, Angelina Jolie is not dating rapper Akala despite reports. All right, let's get into it. So Dancing with the Stars pro Artem Chigvintsev, you guys probably know him also as being the husband of Nikki Bella, very famous former WWE star. Well, he was arrested for felony domestic violence, and we have a little more clarity as to what led to his arrest. We've obtained the dispatch audio, and here's a little listen to it.
Edward 32, 5 David 3. Initially, this came in as the RP requesting medical, but now the RP stating he got into an argument with his wife, and his wife threw shoes at the RP. Negative, not at this time. It's hard to get info. There's an active 415 in the background. Your responsible is going to be a Nikki Garcia, born in 83. We're trying to get the two parties to separate. No medical is needed now. Just for further, there is a 4-year-old child on scene. The responsible RP's wife currently has a child.
So at 8:30 a.m. yesterday in Napa County at the home that Artem and Nikki shared together, Artem called 911 to report some injuries that somebody had sustained. We now know it's his wife. Then shortly after, Artem called again to call off paramedics and fire who were actually on their way. So they ended up not showing up at the house. And this is the dispatch relaying that to one another about what is going on, what he's saying. So even though paramedics and fire did not show up, cops did about an hour and a half after the first 911 call was placed, and he was arrested for a felony domestic violence charge. And it wasn't until this audio that we know now that Nikki was the person that was the victim. And as they said in the dispatch audio, their 4-year-old son, Mateo, was also there when this incident happened.
This doesn't make any sense because in the call, they're alleging that Artem made the call, no?
Right.
He is the reporting party.
He is the reporting party. He called.
When they keep saying RP, that's reporting party. That's
yes.
Artem.
Yes. But it's interesting because if you heard in the dispatch, they are saying that Artem said, we got in a fight after my wife threw shoes at me. But then when cops came, because this is a felony charge, they had to have seen injuries
on her
or injury on her
or on the baby,
prompt them to arrest him. So it's almost like he's trying to get ahead of this a little bit. Maybe this could be the potential beginning of a self-defense case. Whatever the case is, we do know that the victim, which is Nikki, is cooperating with police. Investigators want to know, was there more domestic violence history involved in this relationship? So they are investigating that. Right now, it's still an open investigation, but he has been released. He was released yesterday at 2:18 p.m. And Nikki Garcia's rep did tell us on the record saying this is a private matter, and Nikki asked for privacy for her and her family at this time. But wow, I mean, what an insane thing to be a part of. And I just hope they're okay. And I hope their son is okay.
And I hope eventually we hear from both sides here, right? Because the cops appear to be saying Nikki Bella is the victim, but Artem clearly from this phone call is saying he's the victim. I mean, they say repeatedly that Nikki is the quote unquote the responsible party. So
he's the responding party.
Well, the responsible, they call her responsible. They call her multiple times responsible party. So it appears he is alleging that he is the victim, and then it also appears that she's alleging to be a victim, and cops are saying she's a victim because she apparently has injuries on her. So I think there's so much more that we need to figure out.
Absolutely.
I'd love to hear both sides of the situation. It's kind of surprising. Neither has really spoken out and given their statement. I guess it's a criminal case ongoing. But if I'm Artem, I got to tell my story right now. This is getting worse and worse for me as more people talk.
And we're hearing from some sources that apparently he was in a bad mood earlier this week because he, he's a very famous dancer on Dancing with the Stars, and apparently his contract, something happened where he didn't get renewed for the new season. He just found out this week, so he was in a very bad mood about that. However, also this week, they just celebrated their wedding anniversary.
Sure, saw that.
Everything seemed okay. She posted on Wednesday she was in Napa. She was going to get a facial.
Out too. We just did a story with her. One of our camera people shot her, and she seemed fine. Like, obviously.
And she has a big event this weekend for Netflix. Yes. They're doing like a big live show. So
Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi are eating hot dogs, and she's supposed to be like
hosting it.
Yeah, hosting it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if she shows up to that. What if she shows up with still visible injuries?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So is she gonna wear her wedding ring? I mean, so many questions here. Is this gonna be divorce, or is this gonna be something that maybe they work it out? A lot of questions
still remain, definitely.
All right, moving on to NHL star Johnny Gaudreau. What happened?
Dead at 31. This is shocking. Like, a lot of people don't really know hockey. You know what I mean? For some reason in America, it's just not consumed the same way.
Hockey.
NBA, NFL are.
Yeah.
But Johnny Gaudreau,
hockey players are hot.
His nickname is literally Johnny Hockey. He was a longtime Calgary star, and then he moved on in free agency to Columbus Blue Jackets. Was currently considered their best player. Well, he died last night, Thursday night.
What happened?
Him and his brother, Matthew, who also plays hockey, not in the NHL, but is a hockey player, who's 29, by the way, were, according to police documents we obtained, were riding bicycles on a rural road in a small town in New Jersey. And it's kind of a two-lane road. It's hard for me to describe it on a podcast, but basically one lane goes south, one lane goes north.
Is this in the night?
Dusk. It's around 8 o'clock at night, so you can imagine it's feigning. You know what I mean? You're losing sunlight quick. They're riding bicycles, and a driver who's allegedly drunk is trying to pass another SUV in front of him while the two bicyclists are on the side.
So creeping into the other lane.
And he's saying that he's trying to go in the left lane to pass, but then the SUV, in an effort to get around the Gaudreau brothers, kind of cut him off.
Oh, shoot.
So according to police documents, the driver then swerved around and ran into the backs of the Gaudreau brothers, causing serious injuries, fatal injuries, and killing them. The story is horrific on its own, but we later learned that they were in the area for their sister's wedding. And it appears they had been coming home actually from the rehearsal dinner. So we spoke with church officials. They say the wedding is off now. It's canceled. They're obviously much bigger things here at play than the sister being married. But all of that being said, we obtained the court documents in the case, and the driver, the suspected killer, I guess is what you would call him, Sean Higgins, 43-year-old man, allegedly admitted to cops that he had 5 or 6 beers prior to getting behind the wheel. And not only that, in the report, they say that he was consuming alcohol while driving.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's been arrested and been charged with 2 counts of it's death by auto. It's a unique charge, but I'm assuming it's going to be far more coming. That's just what he was booked on at the moment. So just a horrific story. I mean, I can't tell you.
That poor family.
And Johnny was married. He had 2 children, and both the kids were going to be ring bearers and flower girls at the wedding. I mean, it's even the wedding itself. You look on the sister's registry, and the entire family was in it. They're all groomsmen and bridesmaids and maids of honor, and it's just the story is devastatingly heartbreaking.
That is absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Moving on to something a little more upbeat.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey, she has a rumored boyfriend, and he's a swamp tour guide. This is crazy to think, just because Lana Del Rey, she was the headliner at Coachella this year, could presumably have any man she wants. Well, she's got a new flame. His name is Jeremy Dufresne, and he's from Louisiana. Apparently back in 2019, she actually took his swamp tour in Louisiana. They had posted a photo together at the time.
Is that really how they met?
Apparently.
Okay.
They had been following each other on social media for a while. And
are you joking?
And we had obtained some video of him doing one of his swamp tours in May. And he does like the trick where he kind of serenades an alligator with some bait, and then he gives the alligator a kiss on its mouth.
Okay.
So he's definitely one with the swamp. And apparently during that tour, he told the tour group, I know Lana Del Rey. Look at the photos of us together. When she's in New Orleans, we meet up. So he was kind of bragging about her, but didn't say anything about them being romantic. Well, there was a video that surfaced over the weekend of them at the Leeds Festival in the UK holding hands.
Get out of town.
This guy, what a come up.
I had no idea that I had heard, obviously, in the newsroom that she was dating a gator trainer. But
yeah.
So she took a swamp tour with him.
You know, like the airboat
5 years ago.
Yes. And they stayed in touch. Obviously, things really turned.
And to set this up for viewers, he's 49 years old.
Yes.
And forgive me, I hope this isn't insensitive, but he looks every bit of it. You know what I mean?
Well, he's out in the sun.
He is not a handsome guy in my opinion.
Rude. I mean, girls don't necessarily like handsome; they like personality.
Okay, but I this blew me away, and he's nothing more than a gator swamp trainer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it seems like things are seriously heating up because he's out there in the UK, like living the dream. They're apparently shopping at Harrods. I can't imagine he knows what Harrods is, which is a big luxury store in the UK, kind of like our Bloomingdale's.
Now, I had heard Lana she dates celebrities, right?
Well,
like that's
usually
her
dates
shtick?
people in the industry, like musicians.
Yeah.
She dated like an actor in the past, so she's usually dating someone like in her wheelhouse, but. Wow. All right. Good for this guy.
Has she commented? Has she said
Nope.
that?
Has not said anything yet. But does she need to? They're holding hands. They're smitten.
All right.
Moving on to Angelina Jolie. A couple that's not dating is Angelina and a rapper, Akala. There were some photos of them together. She's been in Italy. She's at the Venice Film Festival. Really shutting it down over there because she's been promoting a movie. She got like a 10-minute standing ovation. But everyone was focused on who she was hanging out with. She was in a photo with a rapper named Akala. People thought they were dating. However, we're being told they are not dating. In fact, he was there with his girlfriend.
Oh.
The paparazzi cropped her out.
Oh.
Yeah, so Angelina, she's not dating anybody. She's focused on her family and her career.
Has she dated anybody since all this?
I don't think so. I mean, there was rumors she was spotted out with Paul Mescal.
Oh.
People thought they were dating, but then we did the story. They weren't, and he's now dating somebody else. But look, I mean, it's Angelina Jolie. Like, she could get any man that she wants.
Has Brad been seen with anyone? I don't think so either.
Yeah, no,
right?
Brad has. He's dating, oh my gosh, it's Paul Wesley's ex-wife.
Okay.
Forgetting her name.
Wow.
Very beautiful.
And they've broken up a long time, right?
Yes, and they're still going through a very nasty divorce.
So Angelina, as far as we know, hasn't dated publicly
since
the whole divorce.
Yeah, so that's why when there was these photos of her and this guy, I think people are like, wow. But no, just friends.
Huh?
All right, today in history, things that happened on this day in the past. Today is National Frankenstein Day.
Like the monster.
Ooh. Or is that a mummy? I don't know.
No, I think he does that too.
Well, it's not technically because it's like Frankenstein's like birthday or anything. I guess it has to do with the author. It's her birthday. So people celebrate today as National Frankenstein Day. Do you have your Halloween costume?
I don't. Oh, well, yeah. I want to be like Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn.
No idea who they are.
Livy Dunn. You know who Livy Dunn is.
No. Okay, I kind of know from Insta. How are you going to recreate that?
Well,
Edward, you're better off going as a mummy. Something we know.
That's why I'm growing out the mustache, though, like Paul Skeens.
This day in 1968, the Beatles record label, The Naughty Apple, released its first single, Hey Jude. Don't know the words.
I think it's something about Don't Make It Right.
Don't
Make It Right.
Oh, God. Our parents failed
Maybe.
us, huh?
I don't know.
This day in 1999, Cher's Believe was number one.
Believe
in love after love.
Saw that one coming.
Okay, this show is falling apart, you guys. Are you still with us out there? Okay, some birthdays today. I'm sorry. It's Friday, everybody. Okay, it's been a long
week. It really
week.
has. It's been a long morning.
I'm counting down the days to my vacation. Birthdays today: Warren Buffett, Cameron Diaz, my idol.
Really?
Yes.
You guys do look alike.
People say we look alike, and so I'm like, oh, I got to start doing my hair like her, wear style like her. We're both tall and blonde. That's it.
Got it.
Lisa Ling and BB Rexa.
I love BB Rexa. We had this conversation the other day.
I know.
I'm a huge fan of BB Rexa.
I want her on the podcast. Come on, BB. Let's make it happen.
I'd love to talk to BB on the podcast.
All right. We'll see you on Monday.